Welcome here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. We appreciate you being here with us on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. So however you're connected with the show, up and down the East Coast, the Midwest, the West Coast, and all around the globe, we thank you for being here with us on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt, on facebook.com/wakeupcalldt, and on wakeupcalldt.podbean.com. So however you're with us, we thank you so much for tuning in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. This morning we have an awesome way to start off the morning. You know that DT and Murphy is what starts off your week with myself and my co-host for that segment, Brendan Murphy. But today we're going to do things a little bit differently inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. Great Lakes Honda City coming to you on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. You can go and visit them for sales and service today and every Monday through Saturday by going right there to 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. You can get a sneak peek at all they have to offer, as well as all the phone numbers and information you need, by going to GreatLakesHondaCity.com. That's GreatLakesHondaCity.com. A lot of amazing stuff has happened in the last few weeks, and we're going to get into all of it here on today's broadcast. But the first thing that we have to get to is our exclusive news that has to do with the Bryant and Stratton Bobcats. You saw on my social media that I had a Bobcat running through the water here and getting excited, coming right to the screen because they couldn't wait for the information, and you're going to find out exactly what it is right after this break.
Hi, this is Amy from Mother's Cupboard, home of the whole frittata. We are open daily 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. For takeout orders, call 315-432-0942 and tune in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora for our monthly food challenge and try our Wake Up Call signature menu item available 7 days a week. Here at Mother's Cupboard, we are Central New York, and it's our honor to serve you.
Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory remind us that every day is worth celebrating at 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. Open Monday through Saturday in-store and always online at maandpaspopcorn.com. Serving our Central New York community and beyond, order anywhere, anytime at maandpaspopcorn.com. Stop in to get a tin at Ma and Pa's on 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York to get your half-price refills for the rest of your life. Come to Ma and Pa's for your holiday gift giving for family, friends, employees, and clients. And remember, for fundraising and events, to call 315-450-6272. That's 315-450-6272. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory. How corny are you?
This is Jim Sikowski, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Cicero, 7916 Brewerton Road in Cicero, right in front of the Home Depot. I had a deep feeling that God wanted me to do something bigger with my life and to help people, help others. I kept putting Chick-fil-A in my life, and I realized as I was going through the franchise selection process that positively impacting the lives of others was really core to what we do here at Chick-fil-A. First of all, it starts with the food. The food is brought in fresh daily. We bring in local produce. We prepare to order in the kitchen. We hand bread our chicken. We hand spin our milkshakes. It's great food. It doesn't taste like fast food. I think the second thing is the way people feel when they come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. It's different. We try to treat people with intentional kindness here, which is very different and deeper than good customer service. And so I think it feels remarkable for most people to come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. And then lastly, the impact that we try to have in the community is very different. It's a big part of the expectation of every operator of a Chick-fil-A restaurant is that they're actively engaged in their community, they're a leader in the community, and they're making a difference. When they realize that what we're striving to do is to shine a little light in their life, that's a very, very different experience than you will have in any other quick service restaurant. And it's that remarkable experience that I think people will emotionally connect with.
Welcome here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. I am on site, on location at Game Point Sports. What is that place? Well, it's your new favorite place to go when it comes to basketball, volleyball, pickleball, whatever it may be. There's fantasy football opportunities here now. There's going to be a lot of different things. There's a party room, and I cannot say enough about this. As someone who grew up on the north side, probably 10 minutes from where we are right now in East Syracuse off of Bridge Street, I never had a facility like this, and I love the sport of basketball. So I cannot say enough about what is to come. And I will say this, you can see that I have the head coach of the Bryant Stratton Bobcats of Syracuse men's basketball program, Clay Gagan Sherman, here with me. We're going to be making an announcement, and we're here with Game Point Sports owner, Jim Dispenza. So Jim, we're happy to be here with you and happy to have this moment. I'm going to let you share why you chose to have a place like Game Point, why create something like this in the community.
Yeah, so, and Dan, thanks very much. Appreciate the opportunity. For us, I always tell the story. I have 3 kids, my 2 sons, basketball, baseball, 2 biggest sports that they enjoyed playing, and the constant issue, and you can see this across virtually any sport that we play around here, is there's never enough places to play. And, I always kind of wrestled with that issue of, as a coach, how do we get enough reps? How do we get our kids out there and playing more? And, it seemed like the times that you would get were 10 o'clock at night, or, you were in an elementary school gym when you had 8th graders and 9th graders trying to play. So part of it was that, and then the other part of it was as the kids got older and started getting more involved in the travel sports scene, is, thousands of kids leaving Syracuse every single weekend, going to different markets, going to Rochester, going to Buffalo, going out of state, simply because we don't have a good venue for them to play. So those were the couple of things that gave me the sense of, I definitely want to put together an opportunity that I think is very much changing the community here in Syracuse and giving youth and adults a chance to play in a facility that's much more premium than anything we have now. So really exciting. Opened about a month ago, already starting to work with some of the most premium clients in the area and premium athletes. So we just love what we got here, and we think it's going to continue to take off.
And with that being said, why we're here today specifically, this exclusive message that we have for the community. You know that Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora is your exclusive multimedia marketing partner with the Bryant Stratton College Bobcats of Syracuse and all of their sports. Clay is here today to make a special announcement, so I'll let you make that.
Yeah, this is home. Moving into the next season, this will be our training facility where we will practice and possibly play some games, and I couldn't be more excited. I mean, this is literally a dream come true. As a coach at Bryant Stratton specifically, been with the program going into my 7th year, and we've had some great partnerships over that time, but to have the opportunity to partner at a facility that is state of the art, and I mean everything is brand new. It's beautiful. Almost at a loss of words sometimes when I talk about it and I tell people about it, but this is, like I said, a dream come true. I'm just so happy for our student athletes, for obviously our basketball players that are going to come back and have a new home this upcoming fall.
And you spoke about, or actually I should say, watching you walk around, like you, and I feel like you and I probably saw this with the same eyes, and I think Nolan did too, but we're little kids again, because there was never anything like this for us growing up in this facility, in this area, right? And so you, Clay, you've been in the community for so many years now. This has got to be a dream come true for what you've seen, for what we've had in Central and Upstate New York, and to have something like Game Point, which really stands on its own.
It really is. I mean, I live 5 minutes away from here, and as soon as I stepped in the facility for the first time, I'm instantly thinking, okay, my daughters, my son, when they grow up, when they're in athletics, if they're basketball players, volleyball players, Kate and I, when we're older, if we're playing pickleball, like this is the place that we're going to come to. And just to kind of see it at literally the very beginning stages and just envisioning what this is going to become is pretty surreal and, again, just really exciting.
Jim, for you, why did you want to have a place like Bryant Stratton? Why was it important to you to build a partnership like this in the community?
Yeah, well, part of it was, first time I met Clay, we had a lot of conversations about what this could become and how it would help us on the game point side and how it would help Bryant Stratton as well on recruiting and so on. So it felt like a really good partnership right from the beginning in terms of what we could do with each other. And the reality is it's a great brand, and it's a great organization, and Clay and his team are going to take good care of it. From our standpoint as a premium facility, we want to have premium partners, and we want to have people that are bought into what our goals are, that see this as a long-term play, that will use the facility in the right way. And just felt like, Bryant Stratton really checked all those boxes. Clay definitely checked all those boxes. And when somebody's as excited as they are and enthusiastic about the facility, it's hard not to want to share that with them and be part of that. So, we've already started to, bring some players in here, and you can really see the difference. I mean, when they walk in here and looking at the lighting and the air conditioning, the higher roofs, the brand new floors, all of the things that they're seeing, for them, it's something they are not used to working in. And these are even some of the most accomplished athletes in the area. So the fact that they haven't been any part of a facility like this is really, really exciting. That's why we think it's going to be a great partnership, great long-term opportunity to work together.
Yeah, and you're providing a resource that Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse didn't have. You're giving them an avenue that really is special, something that is unique, and something that I think is going to elevate and help in recruiting and help in a lot of areas. So, Jim, I can say personally, working with this school for as long as I have, that I want to thank you for giving these student athletes a place to call home and a place to really build their craft and to be in such a wonderful, air-conditioned, consistently good, not occasionally great type of facility.
Yeah, I mean, we did a lot to try to make it unique in terms of bringing in a lot of the natural light, making it so that the air is climate controlled, so everybody's comfortable, which, and the people that have played here up until this point, it's kind of like used to playing in places without air conditioning, can be in the basement somewhere, can be really stifling. And I think that does help teams get more out of their players, in terms of practices and how long you can go and what types of things you can do. And then just generally feeling confident that, when you bring a recruit in, that you've got something you can really talk about and let them feel good about. And so, all the way around, we just think that this is going to be really good for the program. And then obviously from our standpoint, this is a great brand. It's a local brand. It's been around a long time. Bobcats are a growing team with a lot of a really bright future. So from our standpoint, we want to share in that.
And Clay, for you to kind of go off of that, just what it means to you in the recruiting world, what this can be and how this can help you to show like, hey, this is where we practice. Like you said, this is, in certain instances, this is where we could play. There's a lot to be said about what you can offer and what this could mean for the Bobcats long term.
Yeah, I mean, just in the past, it's always been an uphill battle when recruiting student athletes, not having your own facilities. And again, some of the facilities we had weren't, again, state of the art like this. And now it's obviously it's a strength. I mean, there's a story I tell, and I'll shorten it quite a bit, but I was at a local event. The student athlete I was very interested in was talking to somebody about our program. He didn't realize I was the head coach. They weren't talking the best about it, but they knew we were successful. I interjected and said, hey, I'm the head coach. Why do you feel that way? The only thing that could really give was facilities. Yeah. And now that the Syracuse community is going to know we are at the best training facility, the best courts in Syracuse, New York. It's a strength of ours locally. It's going to help our recruitment tenfold. And then when we bring students on campus and we bring them over here, it's a selling point, it's a strength. And then all the other things that we've used in the past to recruit student athletes is just kind of icing on the cake, where we build those relationships. They see our school, they meet the people. There's nothing that they can say other than we're a small school, and if it's somebody looking for a big school, that might be a different story. But again, this is a strength moving into recruitment now, where before it was an uphill battle. Again, something I'm just really excited about because it's going to make my job a little bit easier.
Yeah, a lot of great stuff coming up here with Bryant Stratton. This exclusive message coming to you from Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets life, celebrating the fact that Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse is now going to be right here at Game Point Sports in our community, right off of Bridge Street in East Syracuse, and close to the highway, close to Erie Boulevard, close to so many different avenues of our wonderful community. So for Jim, for Clay, and for myself, Dan Tortora, we want to tell you that you will see the Bobcats here, and the road to the national championship is going to come through practicing right here in this facility. Thank you, gentlemen.
Dan, thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
And serving our community for decades. Your place to go for home cooking on the corner of Route 57. Avicoli's Restaurant, located on 7839 Oswego Road in Liverpool, New York, has been serving our community for decades. Your place to go for home cooking on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road is just minutes from Liverpool High School. And every single month, Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora is on site, on location, with Liverpool sports, student athletes, coaches, and administration telling their stories throughout the year. We look forward to seeing you on site at Avicoli's for their casual pizza side, their fine dining, as well as their bar. And of course, you can order online at myavicolis.com. That's myavicollis.com. For takeout, delivery, and catering, call 315-622-5100. That's 315-622-5100. Come on into the neighborhood spot Avicoli's, open 7 days a week in Liverpool, New York. K9 Campground Dog Boarding is your home away from home for your furry-loving friends. Open 7 days a week with drop-off and pickup times in the morning and later on in the day and early evening. K9 Campground Dog Boarding is the spot to trust with your dog for short and long-term stays. Call 315-299-4013 for more information. That's 315-299-4013. And go to k9campground.com as well. That's K9, ground.com, where you will find all of the information on their different cabins, which include the classic cabin, executive cabin, grand cabin, and luxury cabin. K9 Campground Dog Boarding, where your dog will have indoor and outdoor areas as well as their own private cabin for any size, any breed, as well as dogs with different needs. Dog parents and dogs alike choose K9 Campground Dog Boarding. Isn't that right, Lily? Looking for your next ride? Look no further than Great Lakes Honda City, located on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Serving our community for decades, their new and pre-owned vast array of vehicles are available to you Monday through Saturday on site. To search from home, shop at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Call 315-365-5576 to set up an appointment. That's 315-365-5576 for Great Lakes Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Great cars, great people, Great Lakes.
And welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. You just saw that exclusive news from the Bryant Stratton College Bobcats of Syracuse. That's right. They have a new training facility there, a place to practice and get themselves ready for all their games. Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse men's and women's basketball are now going to call Game Point Sports home for them, and I'm ecstatic. I've been there. I've gotten to look at the facility, and it is an amazing facility. Jim Dispenza had a great vision that has come to life, and I am so looking forward to all that is going to come from this opportunity. I think it is absolutely wonderful for the Bobcats. It's going to help in recruiting. It's going to help in training. And I mean, listen, the opportunity that they have is something I never had in Central and upstate New York. I didn't have a place like this growing up. And so, I mean, I have a godfather that would bring me to what I consider to be the best facility, which is a facility like off the beaten path. And I thank him for that. But there was never anything like this that was open up to the public and open up for an opportunity to have so many different things here, to have camps, to have, you know, teams that are there that are training and getting ready for their season and during the season and whatnot, to having pickup leagues and so much more. I want to thank Jim Dispenza for the work that he's done to make this a possibility and to put it right in the backyard of where I grew up. And I'm so excited for Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse. This is going to be awesome. I know Clay Gagan Sherman's excited. I know Tate Baker's excited, the men's and women's basketball head coaches at Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse, respectively. And I know that the student athletes are pumped because I was with them when they were celebrating and shooting and having a good time out here at Game Point Sports. So once again, the exclusive unveiling here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora that Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse has signed on a partnership with Game Point Sports to practice and utilize their basketball facilities to enhance their team and enhance the student-athlete experience at Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse. Awesome stuff. So, with that being said, it's time to jump into DT and Murphy, the Murphylation station for the nation. He was out in Chi-Town in Chicago and having himself a great time. For those of you that don't know Murph, Chicago is his favorite city. He goes there all the time. He is a big, big fan of Chicago, and he told me, like, flat out, if he could move anywhere tomorrow, it would be the city of Chicago. So with that being said, we bring in Murph here on the broadcast today, and we have the opportunity to speak with him and have some fun with Murph as he went to the National. That's what it's known as, folks, very simply called the National, the Sports Collectors Convention in Chicago. We're here to talk about the convention, buyers and sellers, and the Major League Baseball moves, because we haven't spoken with Murph since the trade deadline ended in our two-part special we did with Papa Joe. So with that being said, Murph, how we doing?
I wouldn't say Chicago is my ideal place to live,
Don't lie.
but no, I think Philadelphia would rank over ahead of Chicago.
I know it would. I know that Philadelphia has a place in your heart. Murph told me that he feels so good about Philly, he will sleep on the streets today if you ask him. That's how crazy he feels. That's how good.
I definitely will not be doing that. But, yeah, so I'm doing good. I'm still in Chicago, as you can see by the whole skyline background behind me. I'm still in our Airbnb. It is 8:24 Central Time at the moment. When I was planning out my day today, I kind of forgot about the time change.
Oh, yeah.
So I was going to sleep in a little bit later, and then I realized, wait a minute, we actually go on at 8, not 9 here. So I had to make sure I was up, showered, ready to go. Bags are all packed. I got to be out just before the show is over. So we'll, the last few minutes I might be in the car driving, but, the Airbnb's been beautiful. It's been, hospitality has been great. And yeah, I'm, got a little bit of a day to kill in Chicago before I head home. My flight's not till late 8:30 tonight. So I got some time to kill.
Yeah, I mean, what's the plan in Chicago now that you've given yourself? I do this in New York City when I go to Comic-Con, which is going to be in a couple months. I give myself some time on the front end and the back end because I don't like to rush out of there, and I don't want to have my luggage, right? I don't want to be in that position where I can't check into my hotel. The Uber drops me off, and I got my luggage, and I'm standing in New York City, and I can't go into the show because I have my luggage and whatnot. I mean, you can. But I mean, who wants to lug around all that stuff? So,
sure.
So what is the plan for you today? What's the Chicago day? Are you going to get some deep dish pizza? I mean, what are we looking forward to in Chicago now?
So deep dish pizza is not on the agenda. Okay. I have no desire to get deep dish pizza. It is not real pizza. You could say that's a hot take all you want. It's not real pizza. New York pizza is real pizza. But yeah, I got a 10:30. At 10:30, I'm going over to Wrigley to get a tour.
Yeah.
So I'm going to tour Wrigley Field, and I'm probably going to spend most of my day over in Wrigleyville and just kind of see what's over there, because I know Tom Brady's new card shop just opened over there. I might go check that out. There's a lot of things to do around Wrigley Field, so I figured, I'll go get a tour and see what it's all about. That's part of the reason why I need to be out before the show is over. So when we take our last break, you might see me come back in the car. But yeah, like that's going to be fun. I don't really know what I'm going to do after Wrigley.
Okay.
Like I said, maybe I'll go get lunch somewhere in Wrigleyville, and I have a rental car so I can keep my bags in the car, and and I'll be okay with that. But my cards are already en route back home. Brian and Edub just left with them, so huge shout out to those guys for taking care of that stuff for me.
Yeah.
But it was a fun week, and it's like I said, I never really knew what was going to be my plan for today. It's the Wrigley thing was kind of last minute. I was like, let me see if I can go get a tour there. So yeah, I'm going to be able to do that, and I guess we'll see what we do after that. I'm not really sure yet.
I find it really interesting, Murph, how you live a life that's very similar to the President of the United States. Are you ready to hear why?
Why is that?
The president never travels with the vice president. Murph never travels with his cards.
Well, the thing is, it's a pain in the butt to take them on the plane, and I don't really have room in my bag.
Well, and you don't want to.
I kind of we planned this all along.
Right, you want to have the road. You want to have ground travel for your cards, not air travel for your cards, because where can you put them? And if you're like me, you're going to want to take them with you on the plane. You're not going to want to have somebody take them in a bag that's going underneath the plane and throwing them and flipping them over and all that stuff. So, I mean, if you don't protect your cards, what's the point of having them? So if you are going to fly, you essentially have to fly with them on your person, or you're going to have to send them, because there's no way to really trust what could happen if you give them to an airline to take underneath the plane.
Yeah, for sure. But it's one of those things that, I was never checking a bag either way. So like I have a backpack and a carry-on. I just didn't have space for them. So they're going to take those home for me, and I'll see Brian on Wednesday, and I'll grab that stuff from him, and we'll be all good. But yeah, it was a lot of fun out here. I will say this. The neighborhood we're staying in is a little sketchy at night, but it's if you kind of speed from point A to point B to get from the car to the house, you're fine.
Yeah, I mean, for you, I'm happy that you're here. I'm happy that I've been watching on social media, like you said, being in Chicago for many days here. Murph's been in Chicago for more than half a week.
A week.
And yeah, a
full week
now, right? You've been a full week. So looking at what you've done and the experience that you've had, I do want to ask you this before we get into the show itself. There was some confusion that went on over trade night and access to trade night. So I know that you were looking for some trade night, looking for an opportunity, getting excited to go. Then you didn't have a wristband. Then you were saying, hey, my hotel dwellers, who wants to have a trade night? So bring me into what happened, the information and gaining that information. So how did you find out what you needed to have? And then were you able to work out some like impromptu trade nights? And then did you actually go to the trade nights that they had?
So obviously, I'm not the one that's planning these trade nights. They are just planned by whoever, and I'm just trying to find out where they are realistically. Because out here at the National, there's trade nights basically every night. I'm sure there was one last night. We had no desire to go. We were packed up and out of there, and we got back to the house at like 4:30, 5 o'clock ish. Relaxed for a while, had dinner. I was in bed and asleep by 8 o'clock.
Oh, wow.
That is a telltale sign of how long and draining this week was. But
Yeah.
So the thing with trade night, the trade nights that are hosted by the National, those were, it was still open to the public. You didn't need a wristband to get in there,
Yeah.
but the wristband was basically so that you didn't have to wait in line.
Oh, okay.
So we were able to get, so the first night we didn't bother even going. So that Thursday, we kind of just went and had dinner and came back and whatnot. So, well, I'll start with Wednesday. So Wednesday, somebody on social media posted they were going to be doing one at the Westin, which was maybe a mile down the road from the show. So we went there, had a great trade night, bought and sold a bunch of stuff, met some cool people. The second night was that Thursday. We didn't go to any trade nights. We kind of just packed up and went home and had dinner.
Yeah.
Thursday or Friday was the first night we went to trade night.
Okay.
So we know somebody from Hennessy Cards, and Hennessy's wife was sweetheart. She went and got us wristbands because they weren't going. So she went and got myself and Brian wristbands so for us to be able to just get right in. So that's exactly what we did. We went right in and enjoyed ourselves. I bought a big lot from somebody. Basically bought all of his cards for about $1,700.
Yeah.
And I've sold little under half of the stuff. Actually, a little less than half of the stuff, and I've already made back more than half the money. So it's been pretty good on that end so far. But we did that, and then we went to the Hyatt. The Hyatt was having a trade night that went till, I think it went till like 4 or 5 a.m. We were there until around 2, I think. And then we ended up we went back home and went to bed. So Saturday was a long day just as far as sleep is concerned. Saturday night after the show, we went straight to dinner.
Yeah.
And then by the time we were done with dinner, we went to trade night. We were able to get right in. Had absolutely no problems getting right into trade night. And that's what a couple different people had said with trade night, that, because there's a line to get in if you don't have a wristband and whatnot. So since we obviously didn't get wristbands for Saturday, we decided let's just go have dinner first and then show up. We got there at like 7:30 and there was no line. We were able to get right in. So that was more than okay. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. We hung out there. Didn't do as much buying and selling there, partly because not a lot of people had cards for me to buy. I would ask people and they weren't really selling anything, or if they were selling stuff, it was either not stuff I was, intrigued by, or stuff that was way overpriced.
Yeah.
And then same thing at the Hyatt. We went down to the Hyatt and it was kind of the same thing. And, after that, we hung out there till I think we left the Hyatt at around 1 or so. Got back here about 1:30. I was in bed by 2, and we had the show yesterday, and, trade nights were fun.
Yeah.
That was where I made most of my deals. But trade night was a lot of fun.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, you're out here at these trade nights that are coming up, and being able to just be there and set up and put your stuff out there. Like you said, you bought a lot and whatnot. Going to the trade night, how was it? Was it organized? I mean, when you got in, because you said if you had a wristband, you could go right in, you didn't have to wait in line. Once you got in, did you have to just kind of find a spot? Did you have to find like part of a table, get a whole table? I mean, what was it, kind of a free for all of like, hey, it's trade night, you're in, put your cards down and go? Did people run out of spaces to put their cards down and have to kind of take them with them? How organized was kind of like these trade nights that were going on in different places?
It was definitely the latter two. So, if you got in there early and there was a table that you could sit down at, you could put your cards out.
Yeah.
Sometimes spots would open up and you can, sit down and put your cards out and stuff. That's what we looked for. We didn't care where it was. We were just like, if there's an open seat, if there's 2 open seats that we could go put cards out, we would sit down, we'd put our cards out. Because for me, it was easier to buy cards when I was sitting down at the table and, asking people if they were selling cards and if I could buy them. Like the kid on Friday where I bought all of his cards, it was maybe 30, 25-ish, 25, 30 cards or so. And he brought them up to me. He actually asked me if I was buying, which was a nice thing. And like I said, I bought everything he had because I was pulling out, 5, 6, 7, 8 cards that I liked. And I was like, a price for everything. So that's kind of what we did. And I got a nice deal on that stuff and some really cool cards out of the deal. Some are already sold. Some I have kept, but it was cool. And basically when there's no space, you got to walk. So like when we got to the Hyatt on Friday night, because we went right after trade night. Saturday night, we left before the end of trade night. We were able to find a place to put our cards down. But yeah, like we went Friday night, right after the trade night got out, everybody was funneling over there. There was not a space to sit down and put your cards out. So it was a free for all, and it was a lot of fun. Saw some really cool cards. I almost bought a Wayne Gretzky rookie. It was in a Beckett slab, but it was altered. And it means it's real, but it was altered. Probably it was like trimmed or something. So they didn't grade it. We couldn't agree on a price, and I was very interested in it. I would have paid pretty strong for it. I just was like, you know what? It's probably not something I need right now. Because that wouldn't necessarily be a card I'd want to flip right away. Don't get me wrong, I'd bring it with me to shows and stuff, but I probably wouldn't want to flip it right away in that particular one. Because it's a Wayne Gretzky rookie card. He's the greatest hockey player of all time. That would be cool to have. I was contemplating looking at maybe getting myself a Jordan rookie in like a 1 or a 2, but they're a little out of the price range that I wanted to spend.
Yeah.
So couldn't really find any of those, but I saw some really cool cards. There was a guy at trade night that very casually had a very small table and maybe 10 cards out and about $250,000 worth of cards just sitting on the table.
That's crazy.
252 Manals.
Yeah.
A PSA 8 Jordan. A 51 Bowman Mantle. He had some big money on the table. And what's crazy is the amount of money that some of these people actually have to spend on stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I got a decent amount of money that I brought with me. I'm bringing $3,500 home. I did pretty good. Actually, more closer to $5,000, but some of it's in PayPal and Venmo right now. But at the same time, I wasn't necessarily willing to spend all that money on one card.
Yeah.
So these people were. That was the biggest difference.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, when you look at this, like buyers and sellers, right? How was it? You said you bought a lot. You actually got to, and you got to sell a bunch too. How was it from the buyer perspective, and how was it from the seller perspective at the National?
At the booth or at trade night?
Both. Let's talk about both.
All right. So for me, buying at the show, I wasn't going to really be able to do that at the tables. Prices were extremely expensive, but people were paying it. So our booth, E-Dub's booth, there wasn't a whole heck of a lot of room on cars, but we still did a ton in sales. We probably, I don't want to throw a number out there, but we still did a lot in sales, and and we weren't really moving too much off the sticker prices either. I mean, and he sold some big cards too. He sold some Jordan stuff that was, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, and people paid it. And it's one of those things where if people are going to pay the prices, why would you lower the prices? Because people, me personally, I'm not going to buy the stuff for that. If it's something that I'm buying for myself, different story. There was a couple things that I was looking at buying for myself that was more money than just more money than I wanted to spend. So I wasn't overly concerned about that. So I only walked around the show for a little bit on Sunday and didn't really see anything that like made me say I need this.
Yeah.
But I will say this: I did find a Jalen Hurts RPA that I wanted, and I looked it up, and it was priced at more than double the last sale. So I was like, yeah, no, I'm not doing that. But yeah, it was fun. The trade night was definitely better for buying, just because you had some people that wanted to sell their cards. So like I was able to work some deals with some people, picked up some really cool stuff. And yeah, and then I sold a bunch of stuff too, like the Griffey auto that I had that I got from GG Cards and Breaks, the Pujols auto that I got in that same lot. Those are both gone. Let me see. I'm trying to think of what else I sold. I sold some good cards. I had Shea Gilgeous-Alexander rookie auto that I sold. All that stuff got sold, and it was a ton of fun.
Well, and you just meant, and you talked about the Pujols, right? The one that you got from GG Cards and Breaks. How did you said people were going for the prices like the stickers? They weren't really asking you to move far off of them. How did you do on the Pujols?
Really well.
Okay.
I almost doubled my money.
Oh, wow.
Not quite, but close. Because I originally had it stickered at $600, which is what they had it stickered for in the shop.
Yeah.
And Brian thought I should price it at $900 just because there's a PSA 9 sale. It's not obviously going to grade a 9, but you start it there and then see what people are willing to offer you. Because like if you started at $6, you might get $550. If you started at $9, you might get $7. And I said all along that if I got a $700 offer, I was probably going to take it. And I did, and I took it.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, and I talk about that all the time. When you're valuing prices, and when you're valuing stuff and whatnot, and how you value it, and what you do with it, and how you kind of work that piece of the business side of things. So here with Murph this morning, speaking on the National Sports Collectors Convention, what did you like more, the show itself or the trade nights around the show?
I mean, it's hard for me to say the show itself, partly because I really didn't walk around much.
Yeah.
Our booth was so busy that I didn't really have time to go walk around until yesterday. And even when I did, it was cool. Like there was a lot of cool things happening and going on. It's hard for me not to say the show because it's the big thing and you have everything going on and, all the different people that you're seeing. I saw plenty of people from home that came out and we talked for a little bit and made a couple deals with, but the trade nights were really fun. The Weston trade night was really fun on Wednesday. Like I sat down, I found a spot right in front of the fountain where I put some cards out and I bought and sold cards for probably 2.5 hours and it was a blast. So, we had a lot of fun doing that. Made some good deals, bought some good stuff, sold some good stuff. I'm coming home with more quantity, but also a lot of quality too. So, I did really well for myself in terms of profitability at the show, which was great. But just to meet all these new people and see all the people there and everything and how people get excited for the national, I understand it now. And it was a lot of fun. There were certain guys that were obviously hot. All the rookie quarterbacks, Jaden and McCarthy and Penix and Bo Nix and guys like that. But a guy that was surprisingly hot was Anthony Richardson. I was surprised about that. I bought and sold a couple of Richardson cards just this week, and they were cheap. I was like, I'll buy them. If I don't sell them, I don't sell them. It is what it is. But both the ones I bought, I sold very quickly for a little bit of a profit. So it's not something I was exactly expecting, but he was definitely a name that was hot. We had on our table, so E-Dubs had a three cases of nothing but Michael Jordan, and then a value box of nothing but Michael Jordan. The value box was full Tuesday when we got there.
Yeah.
It is more than 2/3 empty now. We sold through an entire case, plus almost a full second case, which he was replenishing with stuff from the value boxes. And the one card that I'm shocked we didn't sell was the Jordan rookie, the 86 clear Jordan rookie that he had. I'm surprised it didn't sell. But there was a lot of people that were there that weren't necessarily looking for that card.
Yeah.
They were looking for like the 90s inserts of Jordan, the stuff with the that it had, you're supposed to peel it, whatever. The cellophane's still on, high grade 8, 9, 10, and the stuff sold. It was bizarre, and I've never seen stuff like that. So I didn't really know there was a market for stuff like that. But I guess anything with Michael Jordan's name on it is hot, and it was really, really cool. But Eric's got some awesome stuff in his cases. There was some stuff that, if it hung around till Sunday, I probably would have bought it.
Yeah.
Most of it sold. But there was one card that he did not sell that he picked up on, I think, Friday, that I kind of told him, like, if that's still there, like, I definitely want that. And it was a first Bowman auto refractor of Pete Alonso, rated a 9. So basically I said to him on Sunday, I'm like, if that's still here at the end of the day, I'm pulling it out of the case and I'm buying it from you. And I told him at one point, I was like, listen, if it sells, it sells. Like, I'm not going to, I won't lose sleep over it. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
But if it's still here, I'll buy it. So at the end of the show, it was still there. A couple different people asked about it, but we didn't really want to go much below the sticker. And that was fine. And then at the end of the show, before we wrapped up the cases, I pulled it out. I gave them money for it, and I'm going home with it. Well, it's still with them, but they're driving home with it right now.
Yeah.
But that was a cool one. But so I know I've kind of dodged the question, but the answer to the question for me is probably still going to be the show, just because of the environment, the people, the experience.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole week has been, just amazing. Between all the cards that I saw, all the cool pieces of art that I saw, memorabilia that I saw, the amount of celebrities that were there, it was really cool. It really was. But the answer to the question for me would probably be the show. It's hard not to say the show, but the trade nights were a lot of fun.
Yeah, and like you said, speaking on this show, having the booth and like you were talking about, being busy and whatnot, is there just so many people that wherever your booth is stationed, there's going to be people coming over to you? Because like certain shows that you and I have been to, we get traffic because of where we were, and that helps out. And then, after a while, you get the traffic because of where you are. Then you have people that come to you and say, hey, your prices are fair. You got a good variety. I like your cards. I saw you at the last show, whatever it may be. But other times it's, you're not in a good place, right? You and I went to a show where we weren't in the main room. And by the time people got to us, I feel like there was like an exhaustion. Like they had spent their money. They had looked at a ton of stuff already. So how was this designed? And was it just everybody's busy? Was it, hey, you have unique products, so we're going to come to you? Or was it like people that paid for this show are going to go to every booth and they're going to look at every booth at least once and give it a shot? Like, how did the flow of traffic really go?
Well, I want to kind of preface this by talking about upstairs first.
Yeah.
I didn't actually go upstairs. I saw what the setup looked like, but when I walked around yesterday, I didn't go upstairs. Upstairs needs some serious improvements. There were still a ton of people up there. Going to all the booths upstairs and everything. But it was so cramped, and the entire other side of the room was wide open. I don't know why they didn't spread those booths out. They needed more space, because walking between the aisles, you're like you're just like squeezing between people. You can't look at a showcase, and it was hard. But realistically, in terms of downstairs, there's plenty of room to move. There's plenty of room to walk. At least, especially where our booth was, because we were right on an end, and it was great. Um, we had a ton of people come up to the table. We didn't think it was going to be like, we kind of figured our room's kind of at the back, and it's not, in the middle, like in the main area of the show, but it's in the room where all the autographs are.
Yeah.
So if you're going to get autographs, you see the room, you're going to see all these booths, and want to stop and look at some cards. But yeah, like the main room was great. The corporate area was pretty cool. You saw like Sports Card Investor had a booth, Card Collector 2 had a booth, PSA, Beckett obviously were there, SGC, Zion cases, you name it in the hobby, they were there.
Yeah.
And it was pretty cool. But I think the setup is fine. I mean, we're back in Chicago the next 2 years anyway, so realistically, not much is going to change in there. The upstairs, I would assume they will probably do some improving on in terms of walkway space for collectors and everything. But I think they did a great job. Detroit will be in 2028. Who knows what that's going to be like? But the one thing I will say that the convention center worked on and did better, Wi-Fi and air conditioning were incredible. I figured I would be dripping in sweat, that it would be like 90 degrees in the room because there's so many people, but the air conditioning was amazing. It was maybe 72 in the room all 6 days. And at one point, like yesterday, I wore a pullover all day. I was actually cold. That's how good the AC was in that building. So huge props to the National and the Convention Center for that.
Yeah, and I like how you talked about, different setups and different pieces of it. I was looking at some things that were there. Marv Levy, 100 years old, and Marv was there, and not only was he there, but Spike Lee. So I saw some different. Did you go to anybody? Did you get any autographs? Did you get to meet anybody? Did you want to, get an autograph that maybe you're like, oh man, next time I got to make sure I do that? Because I know Mike Piazza you just did, which is like, that's the white whale. But was there someone in the room that you kind of took a step back and were like, oh sweet, they're here?
Not that we saw. And as far as autographs go, there wasn't really, I looked at the list. There wasn't really anybody that caught my attention as wanting to go see. And I mean, there were some good names there, like Miguel Cabrera was there, Mariano Rivera was there. I would have loved to meet one of those guys, but like number one, I'm not really gonna have time to go over there anyway. And number two, I didn't really have the desire to do that.
Yeah.
It was one of those things, like I was kind of focused on making sure the booth was running smoothly, and we were taking care of everybody that came to the booth. I said, hey, how we doing? About probably 5,000 times over the course of this week.
Yeah.
To the point where I'm, if you couldn't tell, it's not that I'm losing my voice, but I'm losing it a little bit, enough to be, annoying. But yeah, there wasn't really anybody that was on my radar. Like, there was definitely some big names, some cool names there that I would have loved to see, but I was like, I don't really feel like, spending the money to do that. If they're there another time, maybe, but not really I don't really desire that right now.
Yeah, and I can understand. I mean, there's different things, because I look at when I go to New York Comic Con, and I'll be doing that in October and covering that for Super Powered Pop, and I've already got my list, right? I've already gotten, but I've gotten to experience I've gotten to experience the different things. You can either get an autograph or you can get a picture. When you get a picture, you walk up to the person, and some of the people, it was like they were I'm still not even convinced that when I met Chris Evans, I want to call him everything but what he was, Captain America. When I met up and I met Chris Evans, it's like, was he a wax sculpture? Because you walk up to him and he didn't even move. And you just take a picture with him and walk away, and it's just like an assembly line. Go, 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 go. Where, like, when you get an autograph, you can actually talk to these people, and I've built relationships, and I've had conversations and whatnot. So I've now gone the autograph route so that I can actually speak with these people and have a moment by the grace of God. And I've been able to have so many of those by the grace of God. And so, like, this year at New York Comic Con, I'm meeting one of the Ghostbusters, Ernie Hudson. I'm meeting Martin Sheen, who's been in a million things like West Wing and whatnot. And obviously he's in Ant-Man, and he's the original Ant-Man. So, you know, to have those, and then Karen Page, who, well, the actress, I should say, who plays Karen Page in Daredevil. I'm going to get to meet Daredevil, Charlie Cox, which I'm ecstatic about because I love Daredevil. And Luke Cage, that character, is going to be there. So being able to meet him. So for me, it's that side of it. You know, I've gotten to see the Michael J. Foxes and got to speak with Oscar Isaac, who played Moon Knight and has also been in Star Wars and has been in, you know, X-Men and whatnot as Apocalypse. So, you know, I've experienced going to a massive convention and saying, okay, and instead of cards, it's comic books. So when you go to the New York Comic Con, you're literally just taking out and switching out cards for comic books. So you have, are you there to buy comics? Are you there to buy, you know, stuff that people have created, really cool covers and alternate things? Are you ready to, are you there to get exclusives? Are you there to get vintage? Are you there for the panel discussion and meeting the people and hearing the people talk? Are you there to get autographs? Are you there to get, you know, pictures taken and whatnot? So I can see that side of it, of speaking about the National with you, because there's elements that are similar, like what are you there for type of thing.
Oh, yeah.
And you're there to buy and sell, right? To wheel and deal. Did you have any cards that you were able to buy that when you went to a table or somebody came to you, that it came down and you had to kind of bite your lip and be like, I really want that, but I have to pretend like I don't? Because there's the art of the sale, right? There's the making sure that you're not showing it on your face. So did you have any moments where your poker face had to be really, really like focused on when a card came through and you're like, oh, damn, I want that card, but you had to kind of bite your lip a little bit?
Yes and no.
Okay.
I didn't necessarily hide it
Okay.
on a couple of them. It was, so I went out there with the specific direction of getting myself a nice Justin Fields RPA. Like, I wanted something that with a nice patch, good autograph and everything.
Yeah.
And I found a couple that, you know, were a little more than I wanted to pay, and they were worth less than what they wanted. So I ended up passing on those. But at trade night on Friday at the Hyatt, I saw somebody with a Panini One RPA that was really nice. And as I'm, you know, working with them on it, I paid a little more than I wanted to, but the guy was flexible on the deal and everything with me. And, you know, I kind of told him, I actually told him that, like, I'm a Jets fan. I wanted to find a nice RPA of him while I was out here, and this is the nicest one I've seen so far that's, you know, within the constraint of the budget that I wanted to say, even though I went over budget. But it kind of helped me close the deal, to be honest.
Yeah.
So, because he actually really liked the card, really liked the patch. So to close the deal, I actually told him that, and I was like, I'm not really going to sell this anytime soon. Like, obviously, I'm paying you a little stronger for it. I think I might have paid like a little over 90% of what it was selling for, which is fine. Like, on a card like that, I'm okay with that because I'm not selling it anytime soon. Like, the only reason I would sell it is if he stinks and the Jets cut him and I don't want him anymore. But yeah, like, that was one. Like, I actually used that to my advantage. Another Justin Fields auto came actually came up to the booth at the show. Eric, didn't want it, but he called me over because I told him, like, I was looking for, a nice Justin Fields auto. It was on an optic. I think it was optic. It was a variation of some kind. I don't remember what the variation is. But the auto, it was an in-person auto. It was beautifully done in an orange Sharpie. I'll show you guys on Monday when I have my cards again. But
Okay.
it was beautiful autograph. And I'm thinking to myself, like, I really wanted an RPA, but like maybe I'll get this too, and I'll still look for the RPA because it was too nice a card to pass up. And for $50, I was like, why not?
Yeah.
So I got that too. I wasn't buying at the booth, but that was one card that he called me over for because he knew that's something that I was looking for.
Yeah.
So he's like, while it's here, is like, if you want it, like you can, try to make a deal for it if you want. So that was cool, but not. I mean, I didn't really need to any other time. Like that was really the only PC card I bought.
Okay.
Other than that Alonzo that I bought from Eric, and that was going to be done all along. So there really weren't any cards that I bought necessarily. Like there were cards I bought for myself, like littles and stuff at that I was able to get, but nothing crazy. So I didn't really necessarily have to sign it per se.
Yeah. Yeah, because I definitely, I don't know if you know the story. Did I tell you the story about the Kobe Bryant card that I had sold? Like I had gotten a rookie of Kobe Bryant when I was a kid, opened it in Skybox Premium, got the card. I was young, opened it on Christmas morning, and my mom had got me a box for Christmas. Got the Kobe. It's Kobe going like this. And the Skybox Premium, the rookies were just incredible. Like every rookie card, it was just this awesome portrait. And I got this Kobe, and there was this kid I used to trade with all the time after church. So after church, we would go to breakfast at Anna Maria's, which is no longer here, sad face, because I love Anna Maria's and I love Anna Maria. And God bless to her and her family because they're the absolute best. And so I, was trading with him. Yeah, that card. That's the card.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, so that
Where did I
card.
pull it up for that?
Yeah, and so, we made this deal. He knew I'm a Damon Stoudemire fan, and I had this Kobe, and, obviously Kobe was a rookie and was traded. Charlotte traded the pick to the Lakers, and they drafted Kobe Bryant out of high school, and he was 18 years old. And so me being a Damon fan, he traded me like 2 Damon cards for the Kobe. Now, he knew, I believe he knew, what it was worth. Now, he's a Laker fan, but the card at the time was worth like $250. The cards he traded me were like $12. So when I found out, I was like sick to my stomach. I was like, hey, dude, like that wasn't fair. Come on, man. Like we're literally sitting here with our families. You're doing this in front of your dad. I'm in front of my parents. Like this is right after church. Obviously took advantage of the fact that I like Damon Stoudemire. And the card went up to like $350. It went up to $450. And he sells it. And he's like, I don't even have that card anymore. And I was like, I thought you were a Laker fan. He just did me dirty. And it just unsettled my stomach. And I was like, I would have never done that, man. Like, I would have never done that to somebody. I felt like you knew what you were doing. I didn't feel like this was just kind of like oh, shucks. I didn't know that it was worth that much when I traded it. And so I went over a decade. And I went to a show that was on 7th North Street, the old Days Inn, whatever it is now. I think it's a Holiday Inn or something. I went to this show. And years ago, this was years and years ago, because I was still with the woman I was with at the time. She was with me, and we went into this card show, and we're like sifting through the cards. And the show, it wasn't busy. There wasn't a ton of sellers there. And I walked in, and I'm not saying that for any knock on it. It was just kind of one of those shows where I was like, there's a card show. And at that time back then, there wasn't a lot of stuff going on. Like how we've ramped up and really through COVID, there's all these shows and all these trade nights and all this stuff going on. There wasn't that much going on back then because we're talking about more than 8 years ago. And I go up to this guy's collection. I'm looking through the collection and I find the Kobe Bryant. And I asked him, I said, is there any rhyme or reason to what you have in here? He's like, nah, everything's together. Basketball, football, soccer, hockey, whatever. It's all together. And so I find the Kobe. I look at her. And he's not paying attention. And she goes, is that it? And I was like, do not react. Like, do not react. She knew the story. I was like, don't react. And so I had a stack of cards. And I actually sold. It's funny. I sold at the last GG Cards and Breaks trade night at the Wildcat, I sold my 2 Barry Sanders cards that have the gold coins that were in them. Both of those got sold. And so I had those cards and a bunch of other ones. They're like 8 cards, something like that. Gave them to the guy. He's going through and he's like pricing it out. And he's like, all right, that's a couple bucks, that's a couple bucks. And he looks at me and he goes, for the Kobe, he goes, I'm thinking like $250. And in my brain, I'm thinking, okay, $250 because that's what it was worth when I sold it. And I was like, $250? He goes, yeah, $2.50. Like, is that cool? Do you think that's like fair? And I was like, yeah, that's all right. And that's when I had to keep my poker face on. And I pay for this card and I have it in my possession. And I'm like, in my body going like everything's happening. I'm just like going off and I'm like, I got to be relaxed. I got to be cool. I got to be calm. I walk out of the place. I get to the door of my car. She's on the other side and I'm like holding on to the handle. I'm like, oh my goodness. Like, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Then I thought to myself, like, he could probably see me through the window of the hotel. So I'm like, I don't even want to react now. I got in the car, dude. Like I can feel it right now. I was so, because to me, it was the one card that I had to get back because I had pulled this card from a pack. I had pulled it from a box that my mom got for me. And because of the way that it left me, it was like it didn't feel right not having that card back. And that card to this day is here in the studio, and it's right here. And it's sitting, it's always like here with me now. It will never leave me again. And so my Kobe Bryant that I have here, and I remember where I was sitting in my house, and I remember pulling, like, when I had this card and I held it in my hand because I got so many cool cards. But yeah, this card itself, like a $250 card, and I didn't know it when I sold it. And then when I get it back, Murph, how funny, the guy says $250 and he means $2.50.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty cool. The one trade night on Saturday, I actually had a chance to buy a lot. Well, it was 3-card lot, but it was 2 Kobe PSA 10 rookies and a Jordan Upper Deck baseball PSA 10, and they were worth probably $1,800.
Yeah.
I wanted 15, but now I didn't. Apparently, the guy was in a hurry. I didn't realize I was working on another deal, so I didn't know. So, he showed me the card. He tells me the price. I'm like, can you do 14? And he was kind of being a dick about it, and then he ended up leaving. And that's the one deal that I didn't get that I kind of regret. So, yeah, but the guy was kind of being a little bit of a dick about it. So I'm not gonna lose too much sleep over that one.
Murph doesn't mince words. Murph's like, he was being kind of and you almost said it, and then you're like, I'm saying it. So, Murph's like, I'm gonna. So, but
I think it was warranted.
Yeah. Well, I mean, listen, I've known you get to know the people that, I mean, there was one guy that was trying to swindle me because he had really old stuff and he had Whitey Ford stuff and whatnot, and the prices were just ridiculous and the card conditions were not great at all. And, I'm looking up this card and it's way off center. I mean, these cards are super old cards, and I'm looking at the card and I'm looking online and it's like a $40 card. And the guy's like, the best I could do is 110. And I was like, have a good day. And he's like,
nope.
Oh, and it was so far off and it was so like ridiculous that there's like, you know what I mean? There was nothing that there's those people.
It's laughable.
Yeah. There's people that you go up to and you say, like, how much do you want for this? And the card, like, you're thinking in your head, maybe $20. You haven't looked it up yet. And then you look it up and let's say it's around 15 to 25. So you're there at 20 and it makes sense for you. And the person's like, oh yeah, that's a $200 card. And you're like, there's no way I'm going to get this guy from 220 somewhere in the middle. Like and I've done that. I mean, I've asked people like, what would you do? Oh, I could take $10 off. And I'm like, it's not even, I mean, I remember one guy came up to me, wanted $70 for a Caitlin Clark insert. That's a $20 card. And he's like, you must be looking it up wrong. You must not be seeing it right. You must I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not educated. He knows more than me. And, first and foremost, if you're talking to me in a disrespectful manner, I'm not giving you my money. Like, if you're telling me, hey, you're stupid, I'm smarter than you, I'm better than you, I know how to do this, you suck at this, like, listen, that's not how you make sales. That's not how you do it. I always tell people, if you come up to my booth and you find a price, show it to me. And, we'll talk about it. Now, keep in mind, when we're in the off season, somebody comes up to me and I got a Jaden Daniels card that's a $200 card, right? I got that Stars card that's like $175, whatever right now. You come up to me and you say, well, it's the off season, and let's just say that the card goes down in price, right? So they go, well, it's the off season, so, like they're selling for $100. So I want it for $100. I want it for half price. And you're like, in my opinion, I'd be like, no. I'm not going to sell it to you for half price, because you have to factor in the fact that we're in the off season. And as we ramp up toward getting closer to the season, like my Jaden Daniels stuff, I got a bunch of it now. I've been putting it all together. The next trade night that I have at GG Cards and Breaks is going to be before the season starts, I'm hoping.
Get rid of it.
And I'm selling, that's when you sell this stuff and have it go, right? But, in May or April, when people are like, I want all Jaden stuff half price, you're like, no. Just because it's selling for that on eBay, it's because people are focused on baseball. They're not focused on football right now. So you have to also understand the times, things that I never knew, right? Like when to buy something and when to sell it. And when it comes to Jaden Daniels and the ramp up and people getting excited for the season and fantasy football, and, they're trying to get him in fantasy and whatnot, and people are, buying jerseys and going online and this, that, and the third. Now I want to sell his stuff, but, I'm going to be respectful to myself. I know what I paid for it. So there's that side of it too. And it's kind of like, where's the market at for the player? But then it's also like, where's the market at in general? If everything goes down a little bit for football, like you said, people are buying Bo Nix. I sold my auto for him last year. People are buying Michael Penix. I sold my auto for him last year. People are buying J.J. McCarthy. And people are now understanding that J.J. McCarthy doesn't sign everything with a smiley face. I have a card that's a 10 auto, a 9.5 overall graded card, and it's got a smiley face on it. A lot of people look at that card. I'm imagining I'm probably going to get some offers for that. So there's those things that you push out. Now, I'm excited you said Anthony Richardson, because I got a bunch of his stuff that I would love to move and get out of here. But, when it comes to the NFL quarterbacks, I got Bo, I got Jaden, I got Anthony. So, I'm trying to get rid of it. And I have a ton of CJ Stroud, and I want to move this stuff. And my CJ Stroud, I would like to say, is in really good condition, that if you buy it off of me, you could probably grade it. So there's that side of it too.
Oh, 100%. I mean, the amount of stuff I sold of those three, of all of last year's rookie class, was nuts.
Yeah.
So I bought and sold a ton of Jaden Daniels. I bought and sold a ton of Caleb Williams, J.J. McCarthy, Michael Penix, even Drake May. Bought and sold a bunch of them.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm coming home with any of them, other than like some cheap like littles that I'm not worried about. But the only guy that I'm coming home with that is a quarterback that I got two cards from last year's class, and it's nice that when I took the picture, they're together.
Yeah.
But the only two cards that I have from last year's class are these two. It's Marvin Harrison on top. That was part of the big lot that I bought from the guy on Friday.
Yeah.
And then a Malik Neighbors Inception on it. That's all I got. All of the other stuff is gone. It gets bought and sold. It's already gone. So for me, like, my rule that I had was, when I land home tonight, I'm not buying anymore.
Yeah.
I'm not buying any more of them. So, I highly doubt I will see anybody at O'Hare by the time I get there tonight. But realistically, when I get home, no more Jaden, no more Caleb, no more Drake May. Done. I don't want them. Nothing. Not making that mistake twice.
Yeah.
You guys all know I did that last year with Anthony Richardson and CJ Stroud. Richardson didn't play well. His stuff tanked. Not surprising. Stroud, He did play well. His team was 3-0, and his stuff still went down. So, folks, I told you this before. I will tell you it again. If you have any, and if you got the littles like the $1, $2 stuff, that's not a big deal.
Yeah.
But if you got any Jaden rookies or Caleb or JJ McCarthy or any of that stuff of value come week 1, it's too late. You guys need to move it ASAP. In the next 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And you and I have talked about this. Like, you need to sell that JJ McCarthy. We will find you another one. We'll find you another one when his prices come down. So you sell that one when his prices do come down as we expect, and we can buy you another one. But all of those QBs, get rid of them in the next 3 weeks. If you still have them by Sunday at 1 o'clock in week 1, it's too late. You missed your chance. You might still be able to get some stuff before they go down too much.
Yeah.
But the hype going up to the season, I found out last year, does not last. It doesn't matter how these guys do, the prices will go down. It happened last year. I'm predicting it to happen again. So, I mean, if it doesn't happen and I miss out, it's okay. I already made money on those guys. I'm not going to lose sleep over it.
Yeah.
But I also don't want to risk losing a ton of money on them again. I lost $700 on Stroud and Richardson in 2 cards last year. 2 cards. I lost $700. Not making that mistake twice.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's all timing, right? It's all timing. And that's my thing with Jaden is I wanted to get his stuff so I could turn around, literally get it and then sell it. So I have graded stuff.
Yeah.
I have the special inserted stuff. I have the stars and stripes. I have numbered cards. And they're all rookies for Jaden Daniels. I still have a bunch of Drake May things. I have Drake. So I have Drake. I have JJ. I've sold a bunch of my autos, but I still have a bunch of cool stuff. It was funny because in the last trade night, people were going for older stuff from me. Like somebody bought my Barry. I think they bought my Barry Sanders rookie. They bought my old Barry Sanders coin cards. So they were going for older stuff. I had some guy go through my really awesome guy went through my baseball stuff that I got from my big brother. And he wanted to buy a bunch of the old baseball players that I had, just like, base cards, but rookie cards. He wanted to get a lot of that old stuff and bring it home. So, you never know what you're going to find. That's why it's good to have a grouping of all of this stuff. Murph and I are going to take a step aside for a fast break. When we spin back around, we will be talking about the world of baseball. We'll hit on some final points of the National, and then we'll jump into Major League Baseball and get Murph's thoughts on the moves. Did the Mets do enough? It's a poll I put up on social media. They made a bunch of moves to bring in 3 pitchers. Is that going to be enough for them? We saw the Royals were very advantageous. We saw the Tigers were advantageous. People surprised that the Tigers were as busy as they were because of the fact that they have such a substantial lead in the AL Central. What did the Rays do? Did the Jays, did they put themselves in a position to win the division, bringing in former Cy Young winner Shane Bieber? A lot of stuff coming up. My Diamondbacks were sellers. The Mariners are now Diamondback North. So we'll get into all of this coming up here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. When we come back after this fast break inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios, we're with Murph from Chi-Town as he was down at the National in Chicago, Illinois. We'll be back right after this.
In these unique times, there are those in our community that give us a sense of normalcy and positivity. Pizza Man on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville has been here for you for over 35 years and is here now. Call 315-638-1234 or order online at pizzamanbville.com to bring those familiar tastes into your home. And remember to come see our monthly on-site broadcasts centered around the community and our Baldwinsville Bees. Pizza Man in Baldwinsville. Any way you slice it, they are always here for you. Looking for your next ride? Look no further than Great Lakes Honda City, located on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Serving our community for decades, their new and pre-owned vast array of vehicles are available to you Monday through Saturday on site. To search from home, shop at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Call 315-365-5576 to set up an appointment. That's 315-365-5576 for Great Lakes Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Great cars, great people, Great Lakes.
All right, you need to come out here and get yourself the Brooklyn Pickle. I was talking about this with one of my buddies. I was like, yo, there's no better sandwich in the state of New York than the Brooklyn Pickle. And now that I found out that they're going down to North Carolina, we are taking over your taste buds everywhere you are, wherever you're going to be. You need to get yourself out to the Brooklyn Pickle. Pinehurst, you just realized that you found yourself the best sandwich shop that you're ever going to have. This is a glorious moment. It's a blessing to your community. You're welcome. Brooklyn in the house, baby. Go over to the Brooklyn Pickle. You already know what it is.
You heard the man. Head to Brooklyn Pickle Pinehurst on 1788 Old Morgantown Road in Southern Pines, North Carolina. Here's a message from Renee from Bryan's Landing, located on 6523 East Seneca Turnpike in Jamesville, New York. Open Tuesdays and Wednesdays for dinner, Thursday through Saturday for lunch and dinner, and Sundays for brunch.
It's a lot like the way that my mom and dad ran their restaurant. We have put in place a lot of people that are family to us, very similar to how my dad hired people that were family to him. And then the tradition I'm carrying on is a lot of the items that are on our menu are my dad's. And he taught our chefs how to recreate his dishes. So I think that Tommy McNerney, who our executive chef is, to him it is an art. And I think that when he does create a dish, it's not just about making the food taste delicious, which is definitely our priority, but it's an art to him, and it's almost like his canvas on a plate where he just wants the colors to look great, and people love it because he takes pride in that. And Brian and I appreciate that. We want it to obviously look good and taste good. I will tell you, when we opened up, it was 6 weeks before COVID. And what was amazing was the community, our friends and family stepped up, and everybody did takeout. Everybody supported us. Our hearts were just so filled. So to Brian and I, obviously our friends come all the time, and we just have repeat customers in Jamesville, and I think people going to our previous restaurant in Green Lakes are making the trip to come to Bryan's Landing to support us. And I mean, I think we have great food and a great atmosphere. So it's very, very important to us.
Head to Bryan's Landing, located on 6523 East Seneca Turnpike in Jamesville, New York, where memories have become recipes that are now meals to share with you. Tuesdays and Wednesdays for dinner, Thursday through Saturday for lunch and dinner, and on Sundays for brunch. And be sure to come out for live music Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Life gets busy, and sometimes that means us running around. So Canine Camp Dog Daycare offers you an opportunity to give your dog a place to stay while you take care of what you need to throughout the day. Canine Camp Dog Daycare is located on 228 Old Bridge Street in East Syracuse, New York. You can see it from the highway, and it's just off of Erie Boulevard across from BJ's Wholesale Club. Call 315-437-7110. That's 315-437-7110 to schedule an appointment to bring your dog in and tour the facility. Appointments are Monday through Thursday after 6:30, where you and your dog can see everything that Canine Camp Dog Daycare has to offer, including a self-serve dog wash and a retail store filled with all of your dog's wants and needs, including food, treats, harnesses, leashes, and more, making Canine Camp Dog Daycare your one-stop shop for your furry-loving friend. Right, Lily?
And a welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that life. We appreciate you being here with us inside of the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. Great Lakes Honda City, coming to you on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. They are the place for you to go for your next ride. I have gone to them for over a decade, and you can get over to Great Lakes Honda City today and every Monday through Saturday for sales and service. You can get a sneak peek of their inventory by going to greatlakeshondacity.com. They have awesome new vehicles, including the new look 2025 CRV, which I love, the new look and upgraded Ridgeline from Honda as well, which my dad just got, and so much more, including the Civic, the Accord, the Pilot. Check it all out by going to greatlakeshondacity.com, and then make sure you make your way over to 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York, and let them know that DT sent you. We're here with Murph, as Murph is down in Chicago. And Murph, any final notes about the National before we hop into baseball?
It was just a lot of fun. The amount of people that were there was unbelievable. The line on Saturday to get in was over half a mile long. The weekend, Friday, Saturday were obviously the two biggest days of the show. Not surprising at all. But it was just incredible. The first experience was amazing. Would I do it again as a vendor? I don't know. Granted, I wasn't selling my stuff. I was working. I don't know. If the opportunity presented itself again next year, I might. I would definitely have to consider doing it again. But if I don't, it might be something that I fly in on, Wednesday afternoon or Wednesday morning and fly out Friday morning.
Yeah.
And kind of just walk around and see what's available, see what's there, and go and do that. So I don't know. It was a lot of fun. I'll definitely be back at some point. Whether it's next year or the year after or whatever. I'd love to come out again and experience this. And even if I'm just kind of there for the trade nights, like, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I am perfectly okay with just kind of seeing what trade nights are all about and walk around the show a little bit, maybe experience the show a little bit more from a collector's perspective. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I would absolutely do it again. And yeah. It was a lot of fun, and I got some cool new stuff to show off when I'm back home next Monday, and I have some cards for you.
Yeah, no, and I'm definitely excited to see it. And I've been checking out some stuff, looking at the most recent picture that you put up, and looking to see if there's anything that I want as well. So
there's one card I think you would probably want, and it's at the top left.
Okay.
And it's that.
Okay. Who is that? Is that
Donovan Edwards with a heart on the end?
Oh, nice. Okay.
I got that one with the specific thought of you. So, like, whether you want it or not, that's fine. But either way, it's cool. Obviously, so the Justin Fields where is it? That's the Justin Fields.
Yeah, that's cool.
That is numbered to 25, I think. I think it's numbered to 20. It's either 25 or 75. Let's see. I've got this really nice number to 10. Mike Piazza patch auto there.
Yeah, it's going.
That was sick.
You.
Yeah. Here's the Alonso.
That's cool.
Picked up a second-year Kobe and a 10.
You know what I find funny is I have so many Kobe's and Allen Iverson and all this stuff, and I'm seeing these base rookie Kobe's selling raw for a ton of money, and I have so many of them. So I'm like, apparently I need to bring these out, and I need to start letting people know that I have them, because nobody's really seen my basketball collection, and if you're paying $70 for an upper deck, pretty good condition Kobe Bryant base rookie, I have that card. I might have two of those cards. So, I stacked up on Kobe and a bunch of guys back in the day. So I got a ton of Kobe Bryant stuff.
Yeah. So that's cool. And like I said, I'd love to get some bigger Kobe's at some point, but Picked up this Live Golf Dustin Johnson auto and a PSA 10.
Oh, that's cool.
This was probably the most expensive card that I picked up this week. Is a True Gem 9.5 optic Patrick Mahomes rookie. That's pretty sweet. Let's see.
Was that graded Beckett?
Yeah.
Okay.
Beckett 9.5. And then we got this one, which is kind of cool. It's a card that somebody made. Don't mind the reflection at the bottom. It's a downtown with the bald eagle and the American flags and the Capitol behind him, with the iconic image of President Trump right after he got shot.
Oh, wow.
Putting his hand up to the crowd and yelling, "Fight, fight, fight." It was something that was really cool, and I actually got it for free.
Oh, wow.
So I did a deal with a guy, and he's like, and I was like, "Those are really cool." And he's like, "You want one? I have a few of them." I was like, "Yeah, I want one."
That's cool. That's really cool. Yeah, I mean it's nice to see when people do stuff as well, and just the cool cards, the different type of things. Like I have this one that's right off camera here, but I have so many Corbin Carroll rookies. This is a giant Corbin Carroll card, and so it's like a portrait, or it's like a picture that you can put in a frame, and it's got his rookie debut, which is coming up here, August 29th, 2022. And Corbin, there was a guy that just left it. He had watched some of the card breaks that I do with GG Cards and Breaks, and he watched Wake Up Call and saw some stuff, and he was like, "Hey, there's that guy that you do the videos with. He's a Diamondback fan, right?" And he just left this at the register at GG Cards and Breaks. So,
yeah,
I mean, it's...
I got a big card too.
Yeah, you got
Although
one.
yours might be a little bit better. I got the jumbo downtown of Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, I saw that you got that, which is cool.
I lied. I did bring home one Jaden Daniels.
Yeah,
but I'll sell that. That'll sell quick. That's not an expensive. If that tanks, I might lose $20.
Right.
I paid $50 for it. So if it tanks in value, I might lose $20. That's not what I'm concerned about.
Nothing wrong with
it's
that.
The expense. It's the expensive stuff I'm worried about.
Well, I like
the
the cards.
$300, $400, $500 cards that I'm worried about.
Basketball had cards back in the day that literally came to you. It was folded in four, and it was like a white poster. So you just saw white. You didn't know who it was. And you opened it up, and it was a card, but it was a mini poster card of a player. And I got a bunch of those too. I got to break out the binders because I got some crazy. I feel like I would hope that people are going to like come by, because I got like the raised bumpy ones, like the basketball ones where you touch it and but if you saw, Murph, the amount of basketball rookies that I have from like the Allen Iversons and the Kobe's, I mean, I've been stunned to go to card shop like GG Cards and Breaks and whatnot and like look at all these Kobe Bryants, and I'm like, that's what they're worth right now? I was like, I got like 20 of these. But it's crazy. So we'll see. I might have to break them out soon. Murphalation, getting into baseball. Papa Joe and I did a 2-part series, which I had a ton of fun doing, and y'all can go back and watch. You can watch it. You can also listen to it. And I'm going to put them up here on the feed for y'all to have as well, is that PJ and I did a 2-part series on the day of the Major League Baseball trade deadline happening. So we did it on the day of, which was July 31st. And then so that was part 1. And then we did a part 2, which was the aftermath of the trade deadline, which we called the day after. And you can go back, and I'm putting them up here on the feed right now. You can go back and listen to both of these. Really great. Got to everything in it. And I told PJ in the day after one, because there was still a list we had to go through, I said, I'm going to run through all these. Let's see if I could do it. And so I legitimately got through all of them. I don't think we missed a single one. Would love to get your thoughts, Murph, not from the list that we had. What was your take on where things shook out when it came to buyers and sellers in the world of Major League Baseball for 2025?
I think there were some guys that were not moved that was a little surprising. I think it was kind of the deadline of the guys that didn't get traded.
Yeah.
I mean, Sandy Alcantara, we all thought was going to get moved, but I guess the Marlins have, had a very high asking price, which is not surprising because he's only 2 years removed from winning a Cy Young. Edward Cabrera is another guy that has found his stuff this year that was not traded. Zach Gallen from your Diamondbacks was not traded, which was surprising. Like those three were the big names that did not get moved, and I guess also you got Emmanuel Clase that obviously did not get traded because of what's going on with their whole investigation into the betting, and who knows if he'll even ever play baseball again.
Yeah.
He and the other guy from the Guardians, I think Luis Ortiz was the other guy. Apparently their lockers have been cleaned out. I don't know what's going to happen with the situation. They may get banned for life. I don't know. I guess we'll see, but that was an interesting one. He would have been traded. I firmly believe he would have gotten traded. Don't know to who, but he would have gone somewhere. But yeah, I was at least from a Mets perspective, I was very happy with what they did. Helsley's going to be a great eighth inning guy to set up Edwin Diaz. You got Tyler Rogers, who is obviously a very quirky pitcher. He's got the submarine delivery, but one of the most reliable and durable relievers in baseball over the course of the last 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
Had to give up a decent amount to get him, but nothing that makes me think, like this was not worth doing. Drew Gilbert's a good prospect, but he's kind of fallen down prospect boards over the course of the last 12 months. So it's not the end of the world, but he's gone. But yeah, and then they also bring in Cedric Mullins. I was holding out hope for Luis Robert. But obviously they end up getting Cedric Mullins instead. Mullins isn't bad. He's still a good defender. Brings some speed to the base paths and I guess a little bit of a better bat than, Tyrone Taylor. Don't know what's going to happen with him, but the one thing I'm a little disappointed about is that they did not address the starting rotation. Kodai Senga has looked terrible recently. Clay Holmes is probably going to have to be shut down at some point. So now you're left with David Peterson and a bunch of question marks. Frankie Montas has been terrible. There's no reason to keep him. Like I'm getting to the point where I'm ready to DFA the guy. Sean Manaea has come back and been pretty good. So you got David Peterson and Manaea, and then 3 question marks.
Yeah.
I don't know why we didn't try to make a play for Merrill Kelly. I don't know why we didn't try to make a play for Edward Cabrera or Sandy Alcantara. There's other starting pitchers that were on the market that didn't get moved that I'm surprised they didn't try to go after. I'm seriously concerned about the starting rotation unless they have so much confidence that Nolan McLean or Brandon Sproat can come up and pitch a playoff game, which, I mean, these dudes are young. You really expect these guys to come up and pitch for you in the postseason in a high-pressure situation when they were only just getting to the big leagues? Maybe, but I don't know. It's a totally different ball game. I mean, at this point, we're going to see one of those two guys between Sproat and McLean. Maybe even Tong comes up too at some point. But at this point, I would think one of those 3 guys is going to be on the playoff roster and probably starting a playoff game. Who? I don't know. I mean, we'll see what Frankie Montas does, and if he can figure it out, then maybe he's fine. Right now, I don't particularly like the signing. I don't particularly like him at all right now. He's a guy that should probably just get DFA'd at this point, like I already said. But we'll see. For me, I think the Yankees had an active trade deadline, but they didn't really do much. They got David Bednar to be a big guy out of their bullpen who's solid.
Yeah.
I think they got another reliever too, whose name's escaping me right now. But they didn't get Eugenio Suarez. They picked up some depth pieces, which was not what they needed. They needed to make a splash at third base. They needed to go get Eugenio Suarez, and the Mariners kind of stepped in and gave them a good package, which was intriguing. I think the most interesting trade of the whole deadline was Mason Miller to the Padres. The Padres sent Leo DeVries, I think is how you say his name, to the Astros or to the Athletics in that deal. He's like the number 3 prospect in all of baseball for a relief pitcher who's having a down year.
Yeah.
What in the world was AJ Preller thinking? Giving up that guy from an already depleted farm system. They used to have one of the best farm systems in all of baseball. They used it to go get Juan Soto. They used it to go get other guys that are going to help their team. It's dry. Now it's really dry because you gave up your best prospect, who's one of the best in all of baseball. Huge win for the A+ grade for the A's in that deal. Although I'm a little worried about Leo DeVries now because the A's do not develop very well. So I don't know how that's going to go out there for them. But for me, I think just in terms of like the winners of the deadline, I think getting Suarez for the Mariners is a huge win. And then remind me, where did Merrill Kelly go again?
Rangers.
Because I didn't have to. The Rangers.
Yep. To the team that he pitched against in the World Series 2 years ago.
That was interesting to me. That's a guy I had on my shopping list for the Mets, and I'm really disappointed that they couldn't pull the trigger and get him. But I will say this: I'm happy that the trio of Beatty, Vientos, and Mauricio are still on the team. If I was going to trade any of them, I would have traded Beatty. I don't think Beatty is very good. Vientos is, hopefully going to start to wake up, and Mauricio's been pretty good. I don't know what their plans are at third base and second base at the moment. Now you got Cedric Mullins, who's going to play center field mostly every day. I imagine Tyrone Taylor will probably get DFA'd at some point. Maybe Jeff McNeil moves back to the infield full time, and then it's really third base that you're going to have Mauricio, Beatty, and Vientos fighting for playing time. Vientos might find his way on the bench at this point, simply because there's no place for him to play.
Yeah, and this is something that, the Mets have to figure out what is going to work best for them. I did ask, like I said, in our polls, and we got a huge response right away, and I want to thank everybody for that. As we were going through these final deals in the aftermath of the deals of the Major League Baseball trade deadline, which came to us on July 31st, 2025, at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, I had the opportunity to, put these polls up and get your thoughts. And we got a ton of thoughts that came in. I do want to address these really quick here as we have an opportunity to do so. And of course, you could follow us on X, the former Twitter, at CallDT. That's CALLDT. So make sure you go ahead and jump on there today. And we appreciate everyone who has already done that. And so I said, with former Cy Young Award winner Shane Bieber heading to Toronto from Cleveland, will the Blue Jays win the 2025 AL East title? 71.4% of you said yes. 28.6% of you said no. You got 2 days left to go ahead and vote in that. And then what's your vote? Will Arizona Diamondbacks pitcher Zach Gallen be traded before the 2025 trade deadline? 69.6% of you thought that he would be. He was not. 30.4% of you were right, he wasn't. And 63.6% of you thought that Merrill Kelly would be traded before the deadline. He was. And then we put up the Mets and the Yankees polls here. Will the New York Mets, with making trades for 3 pitchers, left-handed pitcher Gregory Soto, as well as right-handed pitcher Tyler Rogers and right-handed pitcher Ryan Helsley, do you believe that they have enough to win the NL East by bringing in these 3 pitchers this season? 64.3% of you say yes. 35.7% say no. You got 2 days left to vote in that poll. And then the Yankees making moves for third baseman Ryan McMahon, infielder Ahmed Rosario, and outfielder Austin Slater. Was that enough to compete for them having a real shot for the AL East title? 87.5% of you say no. Only 12.5% of you think that they got a real shot after those moves of winning the AL East. You could vote in that with 2 days left as well. So we appreciate you voting in the polls. We're going to take a step aside for a fast break. When we come back, Murph and I will wrap things up from Murph in Chicago right after this, inside of the Great Lakes Honda City Studios on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Stay with us.
Avicoli's Restaurant, located on 7839 Oswego Road in Liverpool, New York, has been serving our community for decades. Your place to go for home cooking on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road is just minutes from Liverpool High School. And every single month, Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora is on site, on location, with Liverpool sports, student athletes, coaches, and administration telling their stories throughout the year. We look forward to seeing you on site at Avicoli's for their casual pizza side, their fine dining, as well as their bar. And of course, you can order online at myavicolis.com. That's myavicollis.com. For takeout, delivery, and catering, call 315-622-5100. That's 315-622-5100. Come on in to the neighborhood spot Avicoli's, open 7 days a week in Liverpool, New York. K9 Campground Dog Boarding is your home away from home for your furry-loving friends. Open 7 days a week with drop-off and pickup times in the morning and later on in the day and early evening. K9 Campground Dog Boarding is the spot to trust with your dog for short and long-term stays. Call 315-299-4013 for more information. That's 315-299-4013, and go to k9campground.com as well. That's K9, ground.com, where you will find all of the information on their different cabins, which include the classic cabin, executive cabin, grand cabin, and luxury cabin. K9 Campground Dog Boarding, where your dog will have indoor and outdoor areas as well as their own private cabin for any size, any breed, as well as dogs with different needs. Dog parents and dogs alike choose K9 Campground Dog Boarding. Isn't that right, Lily? Looking for your next ride? Look no further than Great Lakes Honda City, located on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Serving our community for decades, their new and pre-owned vast array of vehicles are available to you Monday through Saturday on site. To search from home, shop at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Call 315-365-5576 to set up an appointment. That's 315-365-5576 for Great Lakes Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Great cars, great people, Great Lakes.
Carvel DeWitt, it's what happy tastes like. Do you know why? Because we make ice cream. Creamy, rich, flavorful ice cream. Not yogurt or iced milk like some of our competitors. Ice cream. Fresh, by hand, daily. For the calorie conscious, we have something new for you. Our new Carvelite. Same great flavor, creaminess, and texture of our regular ice cream with only 35 calories an ounce. So whether you want an ice cream cake, flying saucer, dasher, carvalanche, hard or soft ice cream, we will satisfy your craving with our fresh, handmade regular or new Carvelite ice cream. Carvel DeWitt. It's what happy tastes like.
The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is located on 3680 Milton Avenue in the Home Depot Plaza. It is your family-friendly sports bar and restaurant. Folks, some sports bars aren't family-friendly. Some family-friendly restaurants are not sports bars. The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is proud to be both. It is that marriage that you've been looking for years. The Wildcat Sports Pub is your home base for your sports bar and restaurant needs, games for the kids, indoor and outdoor activities, and enough things on the menu to come back every single week and get to try something new. They're open Sundays from noon to 8 p.m., Monday through Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Thursday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to midnight. For reservations and party information, call 315-487-2222 for the Wildcat family-friendly sports pub and restaurant.
GG Cards and Breaks. Like, comment, subscribe.
GG Cards and Breaks, coming to you on 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York, is your one-stop sports card and trading card shop. Folks, we've been talking about cards this morning, and when it comes to GG Cards and Breaks, when I want to get a pack or a box, or I'm looking for those singles, graded cards, when I'm looking for the best and I'm looking for the variety and I'm looking for fair prices and good people, it's all at GG Cards and Breaks. It is the place that I love to go to. And when I was a little kid, my mom used to take me to a card shop, get me a pack of cards, rub the pack for good luck, and hand it to me. My mom still does that to this day, and she chooses GG Cards and Breaks. So it's great for parents, great for grandparents, aunts and uncles, girlfriends and boyfriends, friends, and everybody in our community of Central and Upstate New York, including all of you that travel in. Like when Murph comes to visit, we always go to GG Cards and Breaks. So make sure you make your way out there Tuesday through Saturday from 10 to 6, Sundays from 10 to 5. They are closed on Mondays. And we look forward to seeing you on 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York. And I cannot say enough about their wonderful service to the community. We appreciate them so very much.
Hi, this is Amy from Mother's Cupboard, home of the whole frittata. We are open daily 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. For takeout orders, call 315-432-0942 and tune in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora for our monthly food challenge and try our Wake Up Call signature menu item available 7 days a week. Here at Mother's Cupboard, we are Central New York, and it's our honor to serve you.
Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory remind us that every day is worth celebrating at 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. Open Monday through Saturday in-store and always online at maandpaspopcorn.com. Serving our Central New York community and beyond, order anywhere, anytime at maandpaspopcorn.com. Stop in to get a tin at Ma and Pa's on 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York to get your half-price refills for the rest of your life. Come to Ma and Pa's for your holiday gift giving for family, friends, employees, and clients. And remember, for fundraising and events, to call 315-450-6272. That's 315-450-6272. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory. How corny are you?
This is Jimmer Sikowski, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Cicero, 7916 Brewerton Road in Cicero, right in front of the Home Depot. I had a deep feeling that God wanted me to do something bigger with my life and to help people, help others. He kept putting Chick-fil-A in my life, and I realized as I was going through the franchise selection process that positively impacting the lives of others was really core to what we do here at Chick-fil-A. First of all, it starts with the food. The food is brought in fresh daily. We bring in local produce. We prepare to order in the kitchen. We hand bread our chicken. We hand spin our milkshakes. It's great food. It doesn't taste like fast food. I think the second thing is the way people feel when they come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. It's different. We try to treat people with intentional kindness here, which is very different and deeper than good customer service. And so I think it feels remarkable for most people to come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. And then lastly, the impact that we try to have in the community is very different. It's a big part of the expectation of every operator of a Chick-fil-A restaurant is that they're actively engaged in their community, they're a leader in the community, and they're making a difference. When they realize that what we're striving to do is to shine a little light in their life, that's a very, very different experience than you will have in any other quick service restaurant. And it's that remarkable experience that I think people will emotionally connect with.
Back here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, we got Murph in the car now. He's heading to Wrigley Field in just a moment or two. So Murph, final notes here. As you spend a little bit more time in Chicago, we spoke about some moves, we spoke about the Mets and whatnot, we gave the poll information. Final notes that you want to make with us from Chicago.
I will say this. I think if there's anybody that hasn't been to the National before, you should go. Even if you only go for a day or two, the experience is amazing. The people you meet are awesome. You know, you might be paying a little bit more for some cards than you might want to, but it's worth it. A lot of times you'll find vendors that are, that'll be willing to work with you, and all you got to do is ask. but it was a ton of fun. The city itself of Chicago is interesting.
Murph's favorite.
Knock on wood, I haven't really noticed any like bad things about Chicago so far. It's just, it feels like obviously the place we were staying felt like kind of a sketchy area, but
yeah,
it wasn't so bad that, it felt like you couldn't do anything. But, that's kind of the thing is with any big cities, you're going to have like areas in the city that feel kind of sketchy, like kind of the cheesesteak spot we went to in Philly, and definitely was sketchy, but from what you told me, the cheesesteak was fire. So I guess that was worth it.
Yeah. No, it was definitely worth it. That cheesesteak was wonderful. And the funny thing is that, when I've talked to people about where they go, Max's has come up more than once, which is where we did go, as well as hearing Ish Kabibbles is the other one that people have brought up to me. So looking forward to definitely getting to do some sports card stuff on the road. Got to live vicariously through Murph this time around, and I hope that you travel safe. Please enjoy Wrigley Field. Have the best time and get home safe. You and I will be talking, and I'm sure we'll be discussing cards. And just so you know, Murph, obviously we had the exclusive release that the Bryant Stratton College Bobcats of Syracuse have an all-new facility to train, which is literally a month old in our community, Game Point Sports. An amazing place for volleyball, pickleball, and basketball. And great because it's indoors, so whatever the elements are, you can have a wonderful, wonderful experience at Game Point. Thanks to Jim Dispenza and his team over there. And also letting people know that there is a question mark on my website now, wakeupcalldt.com. In the bottom part of the website, as well as on the exclusive partners tab, it has Bryan & Stratton Binghamton, and it has a light blue question mark. Who will be the next exclusive multimedia marketing partner, college and university, to sign up with us? You'll find out September 1st. And since the last time we spoke, Murph, so we got one exclusive we've announced. We got another exclusive partnership that's coming up. We're announcing on September 1st. A little less than a month away. And now on our partners page, as you take a look at it, Chick-fil-A Bridge in Erie has been added, which is also known as Chick-fil-A DeWitt. So since the last time we spoke, we have added Chick-fil-A DeWitt, which is opening this Thursday, God willing, at 6:30 a.m., Thursday, August 7th. And we have also announced this morning what's going on with Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse with an awesome practice facility at Game Point Sports in Syracuse. And on September 1st, I'll be announcing the newest partner, a college or university, joining Wake Up Call. Who is it? You'll find out September 1st, which is actually Labor Day, at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. So a lot of cool stuff coming up, Murph, and happy to be able to share that with you this morning as we have a new partner, a new exclusive this morning, and another thing coming up in less than a month.
Yeah, a lot of exciting stuff going on right now, and happy for you, my friend. And you're always finding, finding some new partners to work with that are, great people and, that are great to work with. So hopefully everyone you're bringing in is the same way, and, could be helping grow their business, helping grow your business, and, moving things forward and taking care of everybody. So I'm sure you got to have a lot of cool stuff going on in the next few weeks.
Yeah. Now I just got to keep a good secret until September 1st. With that being
Yes,
said,
you do.
With that being said, Murph, thank you as always. I appreciate your time. I've been so excited, like a little kid, to talk about how the experience was at the National. So I'm happy that we got to do it, and I'll definitely be looking forward to talking with you off air and looking at the cards that did make it home. So be safe, have fun, God bless, and we'll talk soon.
Yes, sir, my friend. I will be sure to take some pictures at Wrigley. Supposedly we're going on the field. I don't know how this works, so we'll see. Maybe I'll get to touch the ivy. I just hope I don't get poison ivy.
I hope you do. I hope you get to have a great time, and I know you will. So enjoy your time at Wrigley.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it, my friend.
All right, man. Take care. That coming from Murph one more time here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora as he heads to Wrigley Field to end his time in Chicago after being at the National Sports Collectors Convention, the big show that happens every single year. And of course, being in Chicago and in Chicago for the next iteration as well. So much appreciation for Murph sharing that with us. We got to share with you an exclusive for Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse. And underneath this jacket, you've seen this today, my Direct TV Holiday Bowl Syracuse shirt, which obviously I'm wearing in celebration of the fact that Syracuse camp is back. And you can see all my coverage of camp by going to Facebook at Wake Up Call DT, X at Call DT, Instagram at Wake Up Call _DT, and of course by subscribing to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Wake Up Call DT. There's also videos that have been added to the homepage of wakeupcalldt.com. I cannot thank you all enough for your support of everything we do here at Wake Up Call and with Dan Tortora Broadcast Media. I just unveiled my newest super-powered pop show, proudly presented by Parker Banner, Kent and Wayne Comics and Games in Cornelius, North Carolina on 21500 Catawba Ave, Suite A in Cornelius, just outside of Charlotte. We unveiled the spoiler review of the Fantastic Four First Steps movie, and I had my non-spoiler review with Josh Gideon that aired last week. You can check all of that out by going to our YouTube channel at Superpowered Pop, and we also will be adding that to a page on Wake Up Call that's called Beyond Wake Up Call, which brings you into all the other shows that we do. So thank you for the tremendous support of y'all watching something I uploaded later last night at like 11 o'clock. So thank you. Make sure you watch the Fantastic Four First Steps and watch our spoiler and non-spoiler reviews of that movie. So much appreciation. Thank you for all of your connections to Wake Up Call, to Comic Book Trails, to Two Mics No Filter, to Do Diz with Dan. Cannot thank you enough for the support that comes to everything we do at Dan Tortora Broadcast Media. The company turned 13 years old on July 20th, 2025, right before we went to the ACC and American kickoff. So perfect timing as we went out there and got to make history once again. Thank you, God, for that. Thank you to all of you. And the support for all of my coverage of Syracuse football camp has been insane, from the coaches, from, so many people on the scouting and recruiting staff. So I want to thank the fans, but I also want to thank the staff at Syracuse. I want to thank Fran Brown. I want to thank the coaches. I want to thank the coordinators. I want to thank the general manager, Tommy, give a shout out to him, and thank the scouting and recruiting staff, because you have all made it amazing. My phone's been going off like crazy for days now and all throughout the entire weekend. So thank you for your support of the work that we do here on Wake Up Call. You can catch us up and down the East Coast, the Midwest, the West Coast, and all around the globe on youtube.com and facebook.com, both /Wake Up Call DT. And of course, on wakeupcalldt.podbean.com. So thank you for that love and support, Monday through Friday, from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. You also can find us on Amazon Music, Audible, iHeartRadio, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts, Player FM, Podbean, Podchaser.com, Podvine, Spotify, TuneIn, and YouTube. All you have to do is search Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, or one word, Wake Up Call DT. And please make sure that you just search us on any Google or Mozilla or Safari, whatever your search engine is. Search Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, or just my name, Dan Tortora, and you'll find us on a bunch of stuff. So thank you for your support. Big time shout out to Brooklyn Pickle down in Southern Pines, North Kakalaki. And of course, a support to our team of partners in Central and Upstate New York. Our newest partner, Chick-fil-A DeWitt. And I want to give them a special shout out right now, if I may, folks. Chick-fil-A in DeWitt on Bridge Street in Erie. You know it as Chick-fil-A Bridge in Erie. You also know it as Chick-fil-A DeWitt. It's right off of Erie Boulevard, and it's right by where Bridge and Erie cross each other. There is a new light there and a bunch of construction, so you can't miss it, and you absolutely can't miss this building. The Taj Mahal of Chick-fil-A is what I'm calling it, a massive brick building that was erected over these last many months and is now looking to open this Thursday, August 7th at 6:30 a.m. I do want to let everybody know that it'll be open every day but Sunday, like Chick-fil-A is, in honor of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, and of course of God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. in general, Chick-fil-A open for you every day other than Sunday from 6:30 a.m. to 10 p.m. On Friday and Saturday, the drive-through for this Chick-fil-A specifically, Chick-fil-A DeWitt, the drive-through will be open an extended hour until 11 p.m. on Fridays and Saturdays. So 6:30 a.m. to 10 p.m. daily for drive-through as well, or I should say Monday through Saturday because they're closed on Sunday, for drive-through and dining room, and then extended Friday and Saturday, the drive-through will be open from 6:30 a.m. to 11 p.m. instead of 10 p.m. just on Friday and Saturday, but the dining room will still close at 10 o'clock. So make sure you make your way out to Chick-fil-A on Bridge and Erie. You can see the new light there. Chick-fil-A DeWitt, excited for Megan Sorber, for her family, for her boys, for her husband, for everybody that has helped to make this possible. Cannot wait for this moment and very much looking forward to the grand opening. So make sure you go and support Chick-fil-A DeWitt, which is right there by so many different things. Obviously, coming off of Bridge Street, coming off of Erie Boulevard, two main roads in central New York, by multiple highways, right off the thruway, not too far away from the thruway, of course, by Syracuse University. So make sure you make your way over to Chick-fil-A DeWitt starting Thursday, August 7th. We look forward to seeing you out there, and much love to the team that is led by their owner-operator, Megan Sorber, and much respect to the work that she is doing to make sure that everything is up and running. It's been great to talk with her behind the scenes, and I'm excited for all that is to come for all of them at Chick-fil-A DeWitt. So you see them on our team of partners page here now. Great Lakes Honda City, Carvel DeWitt, the Wildcat Sports Pub, Canine Camp Dog Daycare, Brian's Landing, Pizza Man, Canine Campground Dog Boarding, Mother's Cupboard, Ma and Pa's, the snack capital of the world, Chick-fil-A Cicero, GG Cards and Breaks, Chick-fil-A DeWitt, Avicoli's, and of course we are the exclusive multimedia marketing partner of your Bryant Stratton College Bobcats of Syracuse. You'll find the Bobcats every single month here with us. We just did an exclusive this morning, and then we were on site, on location at Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse last Friday. We've done a ton with the Bobcats very recently here. You could find all of our content by going to youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell, and find our BSC Syracuse playlist. You'll also find the Bobcats by going to wakeupcalldt.com's homepage and underneath the exclusive partners tab. For more information, go to syracuse.bscbobcats.com and go Bobcats. Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora is the exclusive multimedia marketing partner of your Binghamton University Bearcats. You'll find the Bearcats every Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time during Bearcat Time. The Bearcats student athletes, coaches, administration, and alumni join you throughout the year, and you can find it all by going to youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell, and find our Binghamton playlist. The Bearcats are also on wakeupcalldt.com's homepage and underneath the exclusive partners tab. For more information, go to binghamtonbearcats.com and go Bearcats. And joining the Bobcats and the Bearcats will be blank. You'll find out September 1st on Labor Day. Do not miss that exclusive announcement. Great Lakes Honda City Studios want to thank Great Lakes Honda City for supplying me with wonderful vehicles that I can trust, and for supplying my family and so many families in central and upstate New York. Head to Great Lakes Honda City today. Let them know that DT sent you to 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. You can get more information as well as take a look at their inventory by going to greatlakeshondacity.com. For now, for the Bobcats, for Murph, and for myself, and by the grace of God, I want to thank you for tuning into the show. Head to Ma and Pa's, the snack capital of the world. They'll be at the fair. They're also at 201 Old 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. Facebook at WakeUpCallDT, X at CallDT, Instagram at WakeUpCall_DT. For now, from the Great Lakes Honda City Studios, God bless, no stress, do your best. So excited for the Bobcats and for Game Point Sports and this awesome facility. I'll talk with you all soon. Stay safe. God bless. No stress. Do your best.